Exhibitors and panelists, cons and expos, you are now tuned in to the Disneyholics show.
Hello and welcome to the Disneyholics show. That's Mike TV.
And that's Jen Diz.
Today we visit MouseCon and reminisce on other past conventions we've attended. Hey, you never know, we may even dream up one of our own, Disneyholics style.
Woo!
All right, first and foremost, it is Mike TV's birthday. Woo!
Yeah, it is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, what was the Disney one? Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Oh man, I am so sorry to everybody listening right now, but that was lovely. I hope you're having a lovely birthday, Mike.
Well, thank you very much. Shout out to all the other Scorpios out there. And just like I should, because it is my birthday, I thought I would surprise you at the very top of this episode.
Oh my gosh, all the surprises. How do I get a surprise on your birthday?
You get a surprise because I like to host surprises and games. So therefore, it is a gift to myself. And
all right, perfect.
We are going to guess people from the Disneyverse who are also born in 1981.
Ooh.
And so I'm going to give you some clues.
Actors?
I'll say mostly actors.
Okay.
I Googled celebrities, but the results were mostly actors.
Interesting. Okay.
And I'm looking for ones that, we would maybe talk about on our podcast at some point. So
beautiful.
I'm going to start with two celebrities. You're going to get a 2-for-1. Okay. Both born in 1981. And she's royalty in the franchise we know. He is a villain, and they once were married.
Okay.
Character.
Oh, he's a villain? Wait, they're
depending on your point of view.
Thinking of. Okay, royalty. Who's an actor and actress that are married that were both in the Disney World or the Disneyverse that are around our age? Why am I only thinking of people that are like easily 5 to 10 years older than us or like a lot younger than us? Who's in our range?
1981. I was pleasantly surprised and happy going through this list. These two were in like a major trilogy, and he's a villain depending on your point of view, but he's a villain mainly. But
okay. Is it Hayden Christian and what's her face with the eyebrows? Wait, they're married in real life?
No. In
married,
the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Queen Amidala, what's her name? Natalie Portman.
Yeah, Padme, Natalie Portman. You said all the names. You said all the different names, so you win all the things. But yeah, Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen are 1981. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, cool. I can't believe I guessed right. So shout out to me, first of all. But also, what? I thought they were older than us. Oh my goodness, that's embarrassing. Okay.
All right, next up is he is currently a star of his own unwinding.
Star of his own unwinding. I'm feeling mental health. I'm feeling.
And there's and one episode left. He's actually current still.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston?
Tom Hiddleston, yeah.
What?
Okay, first of all, I thought he was older.
Crazy. You thought what?
I thought he was older.
For sure.
Yeah, and not in a bad way. He's just so mature and like classically trained actor type of thing. So, but I was like, whoa, he's my age? Like, that was weird. Like, he would be in my class. Very weird.
That does feel very weird to think that I could like sat next to him in Spanish class. Like, what?
Yeah, it's weird. Natalie and Hayden, I'm like, okay, but the Tom Hiddleston one got me. All right,
Oh, and by the way,
here.
real quick,
Yeah.
I called her the lady with the eyebrows. I love her eyebrows. I'm just throwing it out there. They're very bold and like boom, and I'm very jealous of them because my eyebrows are very faint. You never even know they're there.
And
But
when
that's okay.
you're looking at, when you're trying to do a guessing game, you can't help but visualize the person's face.
Hey, the
But when
eyebrows
I,
supposedly make the biggest change on your face when you change your eyebrows. So
oh,
they do
when
make
I
an
think of
impression.
lady with the eyebrows, I immediately think of Labyrinth. Jennifer Connelly. She
Oh,
has
she does
like
have some eyebrows.
epic eyebrows. Okay, next up, born in 1981. I like my body shook when I found this out that
Whoa.
we could have been in the same locker room in high school, I
Okay,
guess.
so it's gonna be someone beautiful. I already have a guess, but carry on.
Probably I bet you he was in sports, but he has a gay brother in real life. So I'm like, oh cool. He would have been also like an ally, you know?
Oh, I feel like I know that he has a gay brother too, unless I'm really tripping. Is it Chris Evans?
It's Chris Evans. Oh my God, 1981.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. That's
1981. Yeah, his
hilarious.
brother Scott Evans is gay and he's also an actor.
I do remember
Also
learning
an
that about him.
actor.
I felt like I remember him getting really involved with like Pride and stuff. So I was like, Chris Evans,
Yeah,
probably.
he does all the things. Okay, here we go. This is another superstar pair.
Okay.
And um definitely Disney at some point. Also, you don't know them by characters. You'll just know them by their names. And if you're
Uh,
it's a boy and a girl, or man and a woman, 1981. They were born in 1981. If you've been following the pop culture news lately,
oh.
and if you haven't, it's okay, but I bet your listeners know. Like there's a lot of drama right now because we found out a lot of bad stuff he did back in the day.
Oh, I do know about this. Oh, and I do know they are our age. Is Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse Club for the win.
1981. That one's a trip to me too, because that means when I was their age, I was also fanning out at someone my age, like at the concerts. That just is weird to me
Right.
now that I think about it.
It always feels like a Mariah Carey level, like a 10-year gap
Yeah.
or something,
Like you
right? They
have to
should
be,
be at least,
especially to be
yeah,
famous and like talented. That's
right.
crazy. Um, okay, this one is a very loose tie to Disney, at least as far as I can tell, as far as I know. But it's a pretty good tie, and she helped make the remake of one of Disney's treasured animated films. They did a live action version with no humans though. And she like helped blow it up because she was supporting it and she had music.
Oh, wait, music. I'm gonna guess something about Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what's her face? Zoe.
Not
I'm forgetting her
Zoe,
last name. Not Zoe.
not
Okay.
Zoe,
Oh,
but
Beyonce. Is she our age?
Beyonce.
What?
It was so weird trying to describe her, not using any of the things that I would normally say. I was like, wait, Disney. I'm trying to stretch it here to the Disney Plus special.
Hey, it worked. I was like,
But
music, Lion King.
there you
Oh
go.
yeah, Beyonce.
And then I'll give you one more because I can't even think of a Disney connection. I just think he's interesting and cool. Um, I'll give you a clue. Hobbit.
Oh, okay. It's either gonna be the kid from the Goonies or it's gonna be Edward Furlong.
Neither.
Darn. Oh wait,
Neither.
Hobbit. Yeah, that's Lord of the Rings, right?
Hobbit. Yeah.
I don't
Uh,
know any other
the Good
hobbits.
Son. Do you ever? He was in the Good Son.
Macaulay
He's
Culkin?
Frodo. For yeah, he's the other guy.
Oh wait, that's not Edward Furlong. Oh no, I'm thinking of Terminator. Oh god, what's his name? With the blue eyes, the crazy eyes. What's his name?
Yes, he has those. He has those
Is it
eyes.
Eddie something?
Elijah Wood.
Elijah, the
Yeah.
E, I knew it.
Also
Elijah Wood. How many
1981.
people are screaming? Just want to know.
So talented, that one. He's so weird and he like picks the strangest roles. And then I'm like, wait, he's our age, 1981. Look at him. He's so talented.
That movie messed me up, The Good Son. I still think about it almost every time I go on an overpass, which is like 50 times a day.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say anytime you have to make a tough decision. I always think of Good Son. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of my
Well,
surprise 1981 game for other
that
people
was great. I did
whose
not
birthdays
know
around.
I was the similar age as any of those people. Do you know which one of those was the closest to your actual birthday?
I do not. Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. He
Is it?
doesn't. Natalie Portman.
Do you have it pulled up?
No.
Oh, I don't know who it is. For
I was
some
kidding. I don't know if
reason
you have the whole
that I
birthday
thought
written
it
down.
was, but
I mean,
yeah.
we can go with it. That's your birthday twin. Let's go. Natalie Portman.
June. It says June.
Padme.
June
June 12th.
Well,
just kidding.
were you okay? First of all, I know we want to talk about expos and conventions. Were you at MouseCon?
Yes.
What?
Very last
I can't
minute.
even keep track of where you are.
Well, she sneaks around the world.
Yeah.
Get to Carolina. She's thinking finger filter from Berlin down to Berlin.
Do you know the song?
Tell me where in the world is
Carmen
San Diego.
I knew I recognized it.
That group is so weird. Rockapella. But yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, we're going to talk about MouseCon. I think she actually went somewhere over the weekend.
I very last minute, hadn't been feeling well. I started feeling better. And I was like, man, this is only one time a year. I have a bunch of friends going. I should just at least go and say hi and check it out. It's like the only Bay Area led Disney convention. So it's like, I don't want to miss it. And I had
that's
FOMO.
good. So it's local.
I had nothing to do. I had to fill some time. So I rolled over there and I was like, I'm going to take it really easy. If I start feeling crappy, I'll leave. And I actually didn't. I felt fine the whole time. Needless to say, there was a lot of people that were way worse than I was probably ever there, coughing their heads off and really gross. So please, if you're actually still sick, do not go. It was really bad. I could not believe the amount of nastiness I heard at that convention. Anyways. But yes, I want to talk about it for a little bit because, like I said, it's the only Bay Area one. And I know we have a lot of Bay Area listeners. And I did not see a ton of people there. So I was hoping to maybe get some of us all together to go again next year. So you have an entire year to plan it. They said it's going to be the same weekend, which was November. It's always on a Sunday. So it was November 5th this year. So whatever corresponds closest to that for next year will likely be the next MouseCon. Now I didn't get to go last year because also right around the same time, one time a year is that big treasure hunt I do in Arizona. So if that lands, I will not be going to MouseCon. I'm just going to throw that out there now in case I make everybody go and then I don't show up. But you know what I'm saying. One thing leads over the other. But anyway, yeah. So MouseCon, this one is held in Concord, California. So the East Bay. We do have some other cons in the Bay that have Disney content at it, but this is the only one that is Disney focused. It's like all Disney basically, right? So they have the typical setup where you have like the show floor and you have the autograph section and then the panels, right? So like kind of the regular con. It's pretty small. I have to say this year was pretty light. So I have some feedback for the owner, and that's because he keeps bringing the same people, the same speakers every year over and over. There's sometimes like one big heavy hitter that wasn't there the year before. And this year that was Tony Anselmo, who's the voice of Donald Duck and a Disney legend. So that was a big deal to have him. Right. Yeah. So he was the big speaker for the day. And you could also get to meet him, take photos. I think he actually was not doing photos, but he could do autographs, stuff like that. So always a really good time. And it was $10 to get in. So like if you're local and you have a free day on that Sunday, totally worth going. It's like,
who is this?
Really
do
fun.
We know the owner? Do we like the owner? How do they put together such a massive sounding event?
Yeah, so I do not know the owner. I've spoken with him a couple times, but I do not know him. I did a booth there years ago, like I think maybe the first MouseCon ever. Um, and he seems to be, and this is just me talking off the cuff and from what I've heard, he seems to be someone who hosts a bunch of these mini conventions. Like he has them in Bakersfield and in Sacramento, and there's other types like anime conventions he does and toy expos and all sorts of stuff. So it seems like he has kind of a format of what a con should be, and then he just rolls it out every year and doesn't spend enough time on it, which I want to like almost jump in and help. Like, can I book you some content or whatever it is that needs to get kind of spruced up to get people to keep going? So
Wow, that's interesting. So we don't know like if it's a side thing or like the actual
right. I had heard
Fascinating.
that he's not even like a big Disney person, but there was somebody that jumped on the microphone at some point during one of the panels and like gave him a shout out and said this is like near and dear to his heart because he's a huge Disney file. So I was like, okay, maybe not. Maybe he is a big Disney fan and he's finally able to also add a Disney convention. I don't know the guy personally, so I can't speak, but nonetheless, it feels like it's getting a little stale. So I want to like spruce up, but I'm going to brag about what did happen and kind of show you guys what this con feels like and what to expect, because expectations are also good, because this convention is great because you can go for like 2 hours and leave, which is also a bonus for a lot of people. It's not exhausting. You don't spend the night for panels. It's not like a huge ordeal. So if you need like a nice gateway drug like version of a convention, this would be it, right? It's like one of those very small ones. It's local for Bay Area people. It's cheap, just easy peasy, go for a few hours, get it all done and knocked out. So again, recommend. It needs some sprucing up, but it's still fun. Does that make sense? I'm not selling it very well, am I?
No, I like something where it feels more intimate. And you had talked before on like D23 Expo episodes where these types of events could even be sometimes better when they're fan produced. So yeah, I want to hear about all the things.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, the vibes, it was just a little slow this year. Didn't see as many people. The first couple years I would see like all the people, like all the Disney people came up from LA, like all the influencers, like all the people I know, everybody showed up. This time I saw a good amount of people, but nowhere near what normally happens. So like that is thinning out, but they still had a huge sales section. So they have a whole ballroom full of booths set up for people selling either their like craft, like maybe there's somebody, for instance, Matt Robinson Tattoos. He always has a booth there and he shows his artwork off. He sells his artwork. And then he also talks about his tattoo options. So he can get you in for a tattoo. And he does a lot of Disney art. He's amazing. Like check him out for sure.
Get on that wait list.
Yeah, no, I've been on it a couple times and I guess I fell off because I haven't gotten that call. But anyways, but there's a lot of that kind of stuff there. And then also a lot of people selling like parts of their collections off. Like you might find some vintage buttons and pins and figurines and ephemera, like lots of ephemera if you're into that, which I totally am. And I hate it because you can't do anything with ephemera besides read it or put it in a frame. And I have no more wall space. So you can only buy so much ephemera. But lots of cool stuff to look through, even if you don't end up buying anything. I spent probably 30 minutes going through stuff in there and didn't buy a single thing, but was like very happy with just being able to see all the cool memories and nostalgia that was put into all those old artifacts that people had at their booths. So
I love to see a good booth, a good craft, a good antiquery.
Yeah, they have the antique side. They also have like Etsy shops like that make ears, for instance, and they have tons of ears made. And so yeah, lots of really cool stuff that you can get geared up on at the sales section of the floor. And then they have the autograph area, and I'll just run through real fast who was there this year. So first off, give a shout out to Disney Universe Podcast and Walt's Apartment. They were there. They host their own booth, and they did a fun scavenger hunt and let people go around and find other people and take photos with them and mark them off and follow them on Instagram. It was really cute. It was like a really cute little scavenger hunt. And then they pulled prizes at the end. So I won a couple things. Thank you very much.
What you win?
I won a Frankenweenie Blu-ray, which I do not have the ability to play, but I'm still happy I have it. Thank you very much. And a t-shirt. So it's like someone made a design of the Warriors logo, but it says instead of the bay, it says the land. Or no, I'm sorry, the town. I'm not a sports person. The town, it says, and it's like this circle thing of Oakland, and instead of that, it's like of Disneyland, and it says the land instead. So it's like this mishmash of these two logos. Yep. So pretty cute. Prizes. I like it a lot. I'll be wearing it. So yeah, I got a couple things there. And then Jeff Bam was there from dobuggies.com signing autographed copies of his book. And he also did a talk, which I'll talk about later. Nikita Kalame Harris, I believe is how you pronounce her name. She was the voice of young Nala in The Lion King.
Oh, cool.
So we had some voice actors show up too. We also had, like I said before, Tony Anselmo, voice of Donald Duck. Eden Gross, 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 was the voice of Flounder on The Little Mermaid.
Oh,
so random. Lorna Cook, she was the director of.
That's one claim to fame. Like that's still what he's holding on to at these conventions. Love it. I'm a fan of all of these things, and I'm a fan of fans who line up to see him.
Exactly.
I just thought it was interesting, cute.
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay. Plus, Flounder. He was probably a little child, right?
Yeah.
During that.
Ariel.
So funny.
Ariel.
Then we had a director of Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, which is that horse movie. I never saw it. Yeah. She was there. Amy O'Neill, the daughter from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't think
that's Disney. I think it was like acquired when Disney
Which
bought
one?
all
Spirit?
that stuff. Spirit,
really?
Yeah. And Stallion of the Cimarron is the sequel to it. Not hating. We love Lorna Cook. Good for Lorna Cook. And you are a director. That is very hard to do. But now I know what you mean by like, it's, you know, it's like an intimate local gathering.
Yeah. I just feel that they should put maybe up the price. Like, because $10 is so cheap. I wouldn't mind spending $20 and having some better, not better. I'm so mean. You know what I mean? More exciting or more familiar names.
That's what it is. It's something more familiar to the attendees, because the chances, because there's got to be a fan out there of like the Spirit franchise, the horse franchise.
Oh my God, that one person is like, oh my God.
Yes, exactly. And I love that for them. But if you want a lot of people to come to your convention, yeah, you need ones that people would recognize. There you go. Yeah.
This one I actually liked. I didn't go meet her because I forgot she was going to be there. So that was my fail. But Amy O'Neill was a daughter from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which is also super random. But
the name sounds familiar. She was she like a teenager?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going down this. We had Dan Molina, who's a voice actor and editor of Chicken Little. Mimi Gibson, the voice of Lucky from 101 Dalmatians.
Okay, that's very cute.
Yes,
I love Lucky.
Now you like now the 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, see, it feels like classic, you know. And he has the clover leaf on spot on his body.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Lucky. Oh, that's cute. Okay, Mimi Gibson. I didn't even know the dog talked.
I see. Oh my God. And then Rick Law, he has done a ton of work at Disney. He's a producer, director, and illustrator. John Morris, the voice of Andy from Toy Story. Jerry Cornell, who works for Theme Parkology or owns Theme Parkology. This guy has been here every single year. C. Andrew Nelson. He was Darth Vader in like parts of the prequels or something. He's like a stunt double or something. I don't know his story. I have to figure him out because he's always there.
He's if he's always at these places, he's probably like the one that is in the suit when the primary isn't there.
Right.
Like, you know, like Pedro Pascal in Mandalorian.
Oh my God, when I found out he's like rarely even in that, I'm like, that guy didn't even work, whatever.
Yeah, it makes me sad. Apparently, it's like the first few episodes, and then he caught on to that he didn't need to. They're like, why do you keep showing up? You don't need to be here.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Like,
Okay,
go
so
get another
that's
hobby.
C. Andrew Nelson. I know there's Star Wars fans out there like, yeah, we know that person.
Yeah, I don't know that they would. So then there was Joshua C. Schaefer, and he's an author. So he's done a lot of fun fact Disney trivia type of stuff. So he's a lot of fun too. So
Wow.
that's
So
the
you could
people who were
go
doing autographs.
and get their autographs. What's funny is, and this shows that I'm a Disneyholic in terms of fan of other fans, because Jeff Bam is the only person that I recognize. And it's because I read and follow his Disney fandom stuff. So yeah, there
And
you
you
go.
know what this says a lot too, is that I was most excited to see him, even though I'm like friends with him. So like we got to spruce this up, right? No offense, Jeff Bam, but like
Yeah.
I talked to you on the norm, and that's shouldn't be that excited because there should be other people. Just kidding. You know what I mean? Anyway,
I'm gonna pick one of
yeah.
these people that did autographs. I'm gonna pick somebody like maybe Mimi Gibson, the voice of Lucky, and I'm gonna become her #1 fan.
Oh my God, please do it.
And then the next time she goes to MouseCon or whoever on this list, then we show up and we just, make their day.
That would be very cute.
Yeah. Not in a scary way. When I
all
said
of her
#1
stuff.
fan, it sounded like misery. Not like
Oh my
that.
God. Tired of the bed, break her legs. Well, just kidding. It's part of the movie, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. So those are the autographs section. And then we move on to the panels. So first, like I said, Jeff Bam, he had a Haunted Mansion one kind of opening the panelist floor. And his description was a look at one of Disneyland and Disney theme parks everywhere, greatest attractions, told by the leading authorities on the ride. Now, Jeff Bam hosted this one, and this was super cool. Like, I actually really liked it. He kind of bounced around on a lot of different topics, but they were all really interesting. And one of the things I loved is that we lost Rolly Crump this year, Disney legend Rolly Crump, who worked on the Haunted Mansion, and he had his back because there's this big thing going on with this other person named Tanya Morris, I think her name is, that she created the wallpaper when all of us like hardcore Haunted Mansion people have always known Rolly created the wallpaper. So now it's like this weird like controversy of who created the wallpaper. And then Jeff Bam really put it up on the screen. Like, look at this artwork that Rolly's done and look at this wallpaper and tell me this isn't this artist, right? So like he really had his back. I thought it was cute. And then he also brought up the story of the Candleman and showed that the Candleman made it into the Haunted Mansion this year as a little tribute. So we're all crossing our fingers that that Candleman will stay versus just being there this year. But nonetheless, it was fun. And I always love Haunted Mansion talks. And we dived a little deep on quite a few different topics. So that was always really cool. So if you like stuff like that, this is a prime example of one of the reasons to go to these type of expos, because you really get to hear those inside scoops from the people who spend a lot of time. I think he said like 28 years hosting Doom Buggies and like diving into these things. So get the experts.
That's so cool.
Then this one was called Adventurous Ideas. I did not do this one. I should have. But they were back to back. So it's either you sit in the panel room all day or you check out the other stuff. So I decided to walk around and see people and stuff. But this one's called Adventurous Ideas. It said, join the team of Adventurous Ideas as they share with you the progress on several of their audio shows. Joining the panel will be several team members, including writers, actors, editors, illustrators. And then it mentioned a bunch of the people who are on that list of autographs will be there too. So they kind of would hop from their tables in and join these panels every so often. I heard that was a really fun one, but I missed it. I missed out on that one. Then we had an hour-long talk with Disney legend Tony Anselmo, who is the voice of Donald Duck, like I said earlier. And he told his whole story about 51 years of voicing Donald Duck and what that was like. So that was really cool.
Wait, is he the one? I think I saw him on Instagram, like he wouldn't sign autographs or something. Or he just wasn't there for that.
He wasn't taking photos. Maybe you saw that.
Photos, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was saying no to photos. It's always
Well, you want
awkward
him
when
for
that
his
happens.
voice, anyways. You want to hear his voice.
Yeah. Can you like a video? It'd be even worse. It'd be even more intrusive. Like, can I videotape you speaking with your
They're like
face and your
ruined.
voice?
You can never break the magic.
That's right. That's right. And then last but certainly not least, this is at the time where I was like, all right, I've done MouseCon, I'm ready to go. But then they started the costume contest, and I'm like, well, I might as well stay for the costume contest, right? And there was a decent amount of people dressed up in cosplay, which is really cool. And this was the 7th annual MouseCon costume contest. So this has gone on at least 7 years. And it was on the same panel room, which is another kind of cool thing about this one. You always have a seat here. This time they only used one panel room, and it was the larger one. So you could always get a seat. You can just stay through all the panels if you want there back to back. So you can kind of really, make your day however you like it to work out. And
Did you wear a costume?
That way. I did not. I pulled a lazy day. Yeah.
Hey, Halloween's over. It's okay.
Halloween's never over.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. So the costume contest was hilarious. My friend Kylie and I sat front row center and kind of regret that decision because it was at times quite cringy. I'm just gonna be real.
Oh, you had to. The contestants could see your reactions, like they're that close. Yeah. Oh, that's hard. That's tough.
There's a few moments where I was like, "Oh my god, what's happening?" And then, but there was tons of really cool people in costumes up on the stage. But there were some moments where I was like, "I don't know how to react to this moment right now, so I'm just gonna smile." Like that was just it. And I had a mask on, so I also like could kind of hide. So I was like, "All right, this is okay." But nonetheless, the kids were so cute. They did a kids section. It seemed like the hosting of the show got handed over last minute to this couple, because they I think they even said like, oh, we weren't prepared for this, so hang tight with us, but it ended up being Tina and her husband, and Tina is the woman who does the crazy costume, like attraction costumes. You know what I'm talking about? She makes the dresses.
Oh yeah, at the expo.
With like the Matterhorn car is on it and the Doom buggy's driving, and it's all workable. So she had the best costume in the house, first of all, but she was disqualified because she was the host. Darn it. But she had a Bing Bong costume on, and it was freaking so cute. I couldn't stop staring at her. So adorable.
That sounds very cute. Also, that is very smart to make the person who always wins because they deserve it.
Yes.
Make them the host.
Yeah, totally.
So then they don't have to. Yeah, that's smart.
I love when there are some, like, I know in like card tournaments and some bigger, like kind of nerdum followings, like the one I'm thinking of precisely is WoW. If you beat a certain amount of tournaments, you're kind of automatically put onto the pro level and you can't win anymore. You can still win, but they won't count you against the first place, whatever, because it's just like, we got to give other people a chance, right? So
yeah. That's
and then
cool.
sometimes they become the judges. So that's exactly what that was. And you're right, it is a very good format to do that. But she had this Bing Bong costume on. It was like to a T. It was amazing. But her body, so Bing Bong is made of cotton candy, right? His body. Do you remember that about him?
Yeah.
Okay. So she used this like perfect color of pink. I don't know if she dyed it or if she found it, but it was that tulle stuff. I usually hate tulle. Like I hate it, but it's like the stuff you make tutus out of.
Yeah.
It's this one type of fabric.
See-through-ish.
Yeah. It's like almost like a net, like mesh almost. And she just wrapped it around a million times and it looked like this big fluffy body of cotton candy. It like really looked good. It was so cute. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't get over her costume. Very adorable. But so they had a children's round and then an adults round, and the kids were freaking so cute. We had, my favorite was the Hatbox Ghost. He won second place, and the best thing about him is he's a little kid. He's probably like, I don't know, 6, 7 years old. He goes up there and he has his hat box and he's got his face drawn like the Hatbox Ghost too, right? And he has his little hat box with it's just black, so there's no face in it. And then he would spin it to where the head was on the other side, and then he would tip his hat down so you couldn't see his face anymore. It was so cute. He had his whole little thing worked out, and the way he held his cane and he kind of wobbled like a little old man. I'm like, this kid has got the part down. Like, I love it. It was so adorable.
Move over, Jared Leto. This kid is gonna take your job.
Over Jared Leto. Thank you. Yes. And then there was another girl who won first place, and I actually might need to also put her, I think they're tied on my end because I didn't realize part of her costume. You saw Elemental, right?
Yes.
I
Ember.
have not
There's
yet.
a character named Ember.
She dressed as Ember, and then she had this little cup, like a clear cup with full of water and 2 eyeballs in it. And I'm like, what is that all about? And I didn't get it.
It's the guy. Yeah.
It's Wade. I didn't get it until I can't remember who was talking about later, but I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Do they do that in the movie at all? Or did she just come up with that?
Yeah, like he could just turn into water like that. Yeah. That's very
And they
cute.
had him in a cup.
Yeah,
so
and all
cute.
kinds of weird hijinks.
Very cute. But nonetheless, the kids, super impressive. And then a couple standouts of the adult section. There was a guy who was a jungle skipper, very cute. He had kind of like hung around his neck. He had a big wheel for the jungle boat, and he was dressed up, of course, full gear like a jungle skipper. And then he had a megaphone so he could talk into his little
Smart.
thing. He had a gun that shot fake little things or whatever, like an orange gun that just didn't really work like they do on the ship now or on the boat. and then the best, he's like, the 8th wonder of the world, the backside of water. And he takes out a freaking water squirter, like a water bottle, and starts squirting the whole crowd.
That's cute.
Very cute. It was very, very cute. Well done. And then there was a whole gender bender crew. So we had like Cinderfella.
Okay.
Right. We had a female Oogie Boogie. She was like the host, so she didn't say her like gender bent name, but she was dressed as Oogie Boogie. We had Princess John from
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. We had, who else did we have up there? I can't remember how she.
So was he like
Hades?
Or was she a furry? Like what was the Princess John situation?
Oh, she was in this like cute little blue dress, and then had that big red robe on with the crown and the little ears. And so she just kind of girlied up with like Prince John costume effects on.
Oh, that's cute.
That makes sense. And she had the snake around her. So very cute. Yeah, it was done really well. I think there was like 7 of them. There was like a whole fleet of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very cute. And then we had a Mary Poppins who did, you don't normally see this costume a lot. It was the black dressed one with the red, I think she has like a bow tie. And
I think it's when she leaves, right?
Yeah.
When she comes and goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she even flew away. Like she had her umbrella out and like dragged her off the stage. It was great. So yeah, lots of really cool costumes, and then some very random weird things. Like there was one little kid, I still don't know what it is. We asked another little kid nearby us and they said it's not Disney, so maybe that's why I don't know it. But the little kid was dressed almost like a robot, or like almost like a transformer looking thing with like a bunch of the cardboard box painted thing around him. But then he had like a stroller that was like built out of cardboard that looked like a toilet. And there's a baby head in the toilet.
A human baby or a robot baby?
There was just like a fake baby head in it. And they kept saying, do you want to flush a toilet? And he'd come and like flush a toilet. I'm like, what is going on? What's happening? So,
Very weird.
Have to figure out that one at some point. But nonetheless, it was really fun and funny. So lots of funny moments. And a costume contest is always fun. So gotta check those out, right?
Right,
so yeah,
I am Googling as you're talking.
Oh my God, I tried Googling and it's just like a million costumes of babies in toilets, but it's not.
Yeah, I Googled robot toilet transformer, and why is there a whole bunch of them? Like it exists a toy that transforms into a toilet, which is not what you're talking about. But a lot of creative people out there, you know?
Yeah, it was like, is this something like, is it a pun? Is this something real? I don't know what it is. It was very interesting. And then the mom had like
Fascinating.
the Sims thing on, like the diamond
Oh,
above her
like the
head. And I don't know
diamond.
if she was part of the costume or what. So I don't know.
Maybe they're like
Just lost.
bugs from Wreck-It Ralph. No, I don't know.
Oh my God, that would be great. Like the glitches.
Like
Oh my
glitches.
God,
Yeah.
that would be great. But yeah, so that's MouseCon. Again, fun. I got it done in a couple hours. We even like took a break and went over and had lunch in between across the street. So it was easy peasy. If you guys want to try out a con or just have nothing to do, totally worth your time. Don't expect D23. It's definitely not that level, but it's still really fun. And you get to meet a bunch of other Disneyholics. Like that's always cool. So I was
It sounds
thinking,
nice.
yeah, I really was thinking about getting involved somehow next year and maybe having a booth or doing something
Do it.
fun
Do it.
at the event. Yeah. So maybe I'll drag you over here. Right on your birthday. Yeah, right.
Yes,
Never.
I need to go meet Mimi Gibson, the voice of Lucky.
That's
I'm
right.
going
You
to
have to
become
you
her
have a
number
year
one
to be her
fan.
number one fan.
Or I'll be her 101 fan. 101 lucky fan.
I do have to say, I want to give a shout out to Disney Universe podcast and the Neverland Clubhouse. You know them. I'm not sure exactly who hosted it, so I could be getting that wrong. But they hosted a Disney karaoke night the night before, which I thought was a great idea.
Oh, that's nice.
Like a nice pre-party is also a way to get into that. So I want to get in on that next year. You guys give me a call. Let's work together. I would love to do stuff like that. And then also it looks like MouseCon themselves set up a pin trading event the night before at the hotel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rally the troops. Make this even bigger and even more fun than it sounds like.
Yeah, I think so. These events deserve their credit, and
you can take Bart
fun.
to where is it? Concord?
Yeah. Yep.
Is it Concord?
Concord.
Yeah.
So
that was MouseCon.
The race bells.
Oh yeah, that was gathering the other Disneyholics troops.
There we
podcasters.
go.
Let's go to MouseCon. But yeah, that is making me think of just conventions in general and things that are coming up. Like D23 is less than a year. We don't even know when tickets go on sale yet, which is very stressful.
What is going on with that?
What are the odds that between now and when this episode airs in a couple of days, they go on sale? Imagine that'd be exciting because you'd be here. You're coming to visit. So that's exciting.
Yes, I am. Yeah, we're recording a whole day early, you guys, because I'm going to be going to New York tomorrow.
Woot, 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 woot.
So yeah, so D23 Expo is definitely one we've talked about plenty on the show. Another couple Disney ones I've been to before. I've been to the PNW Mouse Meet. This is up in Seattle, or close to Seattle. Wait, is it Seattle or Portland? I think it's Seattle. Pretty sure it's Seattle. Anyway, it's up there somewhere. Look it up. PNW Mouse Meet. This is another event that I have talked about before, but they do only sell as many tickets as there are seats. So again, every single panel you have a seat in, which I love that idea. And I would say it's probably a little higher level of speakers. Like they're a little more invested in the panels than MouseCon is. I think MouseCon's more invested in like the sales floor and just the experience altogether. MouseCon or Mouse Meet is a bit more on like, who are we getting to speak? And they have some pretty good speakers come in. It's a lot of fun. So I would definitely check that one out if you feel like getting more Disney, or if you already live all the way up there.
Mouse Meet.
Yeah.
For those Disneyholics in the Pacific Northwest.
That's right. That's right. Another con I go to pretty much annually at this point is Fanime.
Yeah,
this is an anime focused convention. However, it has spread into animation over the years. So it's got a little more on my end because I do like anime, but only so much threshold because I just don't watch that much. So now that it includes animation, it obviously includes Disney. So I get to see a lot of fun Disney stuff, Disney related things there. think Fanime has the most amazing show floor. It feels like you're at Frankenson's or something. It's just like this huge ballroom of vendors, and then this other whole ballroom full of artists only, and it's like prints and like actual artwork that they sell. So a lot of stuff to buy.
What is Vandemum? What did you compare it to? Frankenmums?
Oh, Frankenson's. Sorry, Frankenson's is sort of like a swap meet in Los Angeles area.
Okay.
I call it a flea market for nerds.
Oh, so it's cool stuff in there that we'd want to see.
Lots of very cool stuff. I actually thought of you. There's an entire booth that sells vintage Happy Meal toys. Like that's all they do.
That is amazing. Yeah, I could go there.
Yeah, I used to buy all of this is back in DVD era. I used to buy the Extinct Attractions group. They used to make DVDs and they would sell all of them there, and they would have all this vintage Disney t-shirts and stickers and patches and all sorts of stuff. So I have a lot of stuff from Frankenson's. That's another fun place to check out.
Before these YouTubes with 4K attraction POVs, you'd have to have it on someone's videotape.
Yep.
And then a DVD transfer, if anything. That is crazy. Now it's at our fingertips. Do people realize how lucky they are?
Right.
That's so cool.
I just had a conversation with my brother about how he wants to still collect CDs. And I'm like, why? It's like literally the worst format of anything.
Yeah, the fidelity and all that stuff is not good
screwed.
Either.
Yeah.
Like it only had a limited amount of megabytes that it could hold. You know what's interesting is people, like, I think we've talked about this before on the show in other ways, but vinyl is the only one that keeps making a comeback. It can last because it's like high fidelity, good quality. But I remember like when CDs came out, people were like, oh my gosh, it's going to take over records and 8-tracks. But nothing else ever stuck after records, really, until it went digital, and then they just kind of disappeared.
Yeah. And you know, I'm thinking about it. Records are actually also a terrible format. I love records and I collect vinyl.
They're fragile, but
very fragile
quality.
Yes.
Sound,
yep. Yep. Very analog.
Oh, and the covers, love the big. It's basically like a little free poster out of it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I do love vinyl, and they smell so good. I can smell the acetone on them. Like they're great. But yeah, you get them in any type of heat, you're completely screwed. So you'll have a record.
When is Fanime, and when can we go to that type of convention where you could buy all the things?
Fanime is it's on Memorial Day every year. Memorial Day weekend in San Jose, California. So again, Bay Area.
I was thinking Anaheim. So it's actually also the Bay. That's cool.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, these are kind of all over. Silicon Valley Comic-Con, I don't remember when it is. I think it's closer to Labor Day. That one's also in the same venue as Fanime, actually. And that one is more like a mini Comic-Con.
Okay.
And they have a ton of panels. I saw Christina Ricci speak at that one. I don't even remember why.
Oh, wow.
What she was talking about. But I went because I love her. And then have you been to any other that you want to talk about?
I've always wanted to go to the big Comic Con, so NYCC and SD, San Diego and New York. I just never have, I guess, because I get exhausted too, so I can only like focus on one. So it's usually D23, right? So that's like the one that I'm always waiting for. But I do want to show up to those other ones because they do like fun big movie things there that I'd like to see.
Right.
One that I've done in the past that was cool was called Gamer X. So it was a video game convention for gays. And this was back when we only had like 4 letters. It was just like LGBTQ. And we're like excited that you can go and gamers and meet all these other gay, they're mostly gay guys, but then back then it was becoming more inclusive, like LGBTQ and all that. And it was just so fun because there were just all these gay nerds there. So you have like double layers you could peel off to feel comfortable. You're like, okay, everyone's gay, so I'm cool there. And then within the gay community, you can still get made fun of for being a nerd. So then you take that off because you're like, okay, everyone's a nerd. And you just have all these gay nerds. And it was really fun. And you really got to hear the passion from other gamers because they would be selling their ideas to build board games like from scratch. And because it was
Very
such a
cool.
diverse group, these were like specific board games for like dating guys behind the door, because we only grew up with ones, it was a guy and a girl. So there's a lot of that. And then there was a lot of video game stuff too. People creating their own indie games, people creating graphic novels. So kind of like the way you talked about Banime, it started with one thing, which was getting people together that liked video games. And then it became just like this thing for creativity and creative.
That's cool.
Q, I guess, is queer the new word? I don't know if this thing's even still around, but it was called Gamer with a Y. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what's out there nowadays for gamers. This was like back in 2015, maybe. It's a while
I
ago.
remember that because
Yeah.
we visited you. It was in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, it was in
And
Tokyatown.
I stole someone's do not disturb sign off their door because it looked like little space invaders.
Like video game, yes. Okay, so it's like this
And I
Kimpton
still have
hotel.
it.
I don't know if it's still there, but it was very cute. And
It was.
they knew their audience. I like that when the hotel gets in on it too. So that was really cool. But yeah, I would do something like that again. The costume contest, I still remember to this day, was fun because it was a lot of drag. And that was, again, this was back. It felt like a long time ago. So it's very different. It was before Twitch. Like now there's like drag queens and a lot of queer gamers out there on Twitch. But back then we only found each other through like message boards. And if you happen to connect with someone in a game and then you save them on your player list and then you find out they're cool, because it's normally kind of scary on there too for little gay kids.
Yeah, I bet. I hear some of that talk that goes on those games.
Yeah.
Not nice at all.
It's crazy. Yeah. So Gamer X was a really cool, monumental thing. And I'm sure there's probably all kinds of spin-offs now. That was in San Francisco and it was through Kickstarter. That's how it came up. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's perfect, especially for launching all those games that people are trying to build out and everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Very cool. And then, I put this in the wrong category. I listed another one here, but I think we've been to quite a few work ones, and I just wanted to talk about this real fast because it's always funny. And if you guys haven't been to a convention for your profession, it's a totally different world, right? Because
yeah. So wait, I have a pop question, quiz for you and the audience. Okay. And it's kind of a trick question, but describe what you think the difference is between a convention and a conference. Because I've also asked ChatGPT because I always wonder this.
Nothing.
It's nothing and everything. So basically what it says is, and this is interesting, convention, which is what we had just been talking about the whole episode, is when you get a group of people together that share a common interest, but that group of people are not necessarily the subject matter experts or professionals in the thing.
Ooh, okay.
Whereas a conference is typically a gathering of professional or experts in the same field that come together. And then from there, they start to overlap because the way you have fun activities starts to all be the same. But that's like the core difference. And I was like, oh, finally, thanks to AI, it can be explained to me because I never really understood it.
I always hear all these different words. Expo. What's the difference between an expo and a
Expo is like the World's Fair.
Like,
exposition, showing off demos and things of your stuff.
Okay, but then why wasn't Gamer an expo? Right.
There you go. And at D23 Expo, that's only like 25% of it.
Yeah, only part of it is expo.
It's
then there's
con,
a big
to me,
convention,
a big con.
And then there's all the other. Yeah.
So there you go. Those are the small nuances between the differences.
I love it. So another topic I wanted to bring up was just ones that you kind of touched on this already, ones that we wanted to go to and never gone, and why we think we haven't gone. So we'll start with the one you mentioned, Comic-Con. I've also always wanted to go to Comic-Con. It's like on the bucket list. Why?
The thing is, with New York Comic-Con, I used to work at a building that was right on the corner of where you have to walk to get to Javits Center, where it is in New York City, right off of 34th. And we would see it happening, like, because, it would usually start on a weekday and we were all in the office.
Like Thursday to get your badges or something.
And you could see just waves of people walking with the costume. And I had FOMO, but it also seemed so much. It seemed like too much. And back then, we didn't have the Disneyholics podcast or anything. And sometimes I always felt like I wasn't cool enough. I was like, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
now
not cool
you
enough. Like,
are.
I'm not going to cosplay. I don't know how to do any of that. I don't know all the comics. And I thought it was very comics only. It took me a while
Oh,
to
yeah.
realize that it's like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the best part is those announcements, man. You get to see all the new stuff.
Yeah.
So cool.
But yeah, why don't you
I
think you've
think
gone
I'm
to either?
I think I'm with you. Like the only Comic-Con that I guess I went to Silicon Valley Comic-Con, but that one was pretty simple. It was like really low key in comparison, but the big one, the San Diego one, it is I hear people like starting to gear up. You like see it roll out on Instagram and Facebook, like people starting to stress out about getting their tickets and being a lottery and if they're going to camp out and all this stuff. And I just kind of like, I don't want to do any of that. And I think it's because it comes like after the D23 one. So then I'm like, I'm not doing that twice. It's too crazy.
Yeah, it has to be one. I would say one huge one at the D23 or Comic-Con size per year.
Yeah.
For me, I couldn't do more. Yeah.
D23 is only every other year. So we still have no excuse.
Yeah,
Every 2 years, one every 2 years.
Gap year, we should be going to, at least San Diego. I think that's the OG, right? Like the big classic one.
And it's huge. And I definitely want to go check it out one time. I've just seen so many nightmare photos and videos of it, but I get like they could also take that footage of D23.
Yeah.
But but I know what it's like. So then I know I can still go and enjoy it. So probably the same Comic-Con. And I hear everybody I know keeps going back. So like, it's not like they didn't, nobody went and had bad report back. It's always like, oh, I'm going again next year.
Yeah.
And with that said, with the gap years, what I had planned to do, and I never did, one was go to P&W Mass Meet, which I did one time only. But I also wanted to start going to Star Wars Celebration, which is often in Anaheim. It moves around, but it's been in Anaheim a couple of times now. And this one just looks so fun because now it's like it seems as big as D23, but watered down even more to like more specific. It's like only Star Wars now, right? Which Star Wars is huge, but like I feel like when it gets into a smaller category and you have more access or the same large amount of access to a smaller heading, then you get more detail. Do you know what I mean? Instead of more like big picture, it's more like nitty gritty. And I feel like that's how Star Wars Celebration ends up being. And I've heard a lot of reports back and it seems like that too. So I've been really wanting to go to that one. How about you? Have you ever wanted to go or are you kind of like, meh?
I watched it almost all on live stream this last one and it was really good. I think we talked about it in the podcast too. And I think I'm okay not going, but not because I don't want to go. They just actually did such a good job that I'm like, oh, I'll watch it again on streaming and da-da-da-da. I think for me, maybe the Star Wars lore and all that, it gets so specific, like the voice of Clone Wars or something. And I would not know what it is, but I would love to see like big announcements.
True. That's a good point.
And some of the people now they have so many shows. It's not just the trilogy anymore. There's a lot.
Yeah.
So,
it's huge.
It seems it seems like a good one. And then the fans. It's another one where the fans are probably so fun and dress up.
Yeah. That's another one where they have a lot of really big announcements come out and it gets like super exciting hearing all the fans just go wild. It's so fun. I did also watch the live stream.
Yeah.
Destination D we recently talked about and we both were considering going and neither of us went. So maybe we need to get on that one because that's like
that's the gap year between D23 Expos.
That's the gap year and it's like the sister con of D23 Expo, right?
Yeah.
So that one is
and
probably
it's in Florida,
the highest on the list.
We tend to travel there quite a lot. Like, why not do a trip around it? I don't know why. Disneyholics, Mike and Jen, why not?
I don't know. Let's ask them sometime.
Also, the expo, it lasts not 2 years, but there's the whole lead up to it and then the afterglow of it.
It does. It like feels like
I like the idea.
Of my brain. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea of going to another one in between, but I guess I'm not as thirsty and carnivorous for it.
Yeah. Yep. By the time you're thirsty, another one's coming up.
Yep. We need to find out when those freaking tickets go on sale.
I know.
I want to go to This is, I guess, Disney-ish too, CinemaCon. Now, we were actually in Las Vegas when CinemaCon was happening. We were
Oh,
there
that's
for a work
right.
trip for an HR conference. So there you go. It's the universe all together. and and it looked so cool, and I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, why are there giant transformers outside of the Caesar's Palace? And then when I figured out it was CinemaCon, and that's where a lot of these outlets go to report on these news things, and then I go watch their YouTube the next day. I don't know why it took me a while to put together that there was a convention that you can go to for just like major movie announcements. And I
Right.
guess it's also supposed to be for like distributors and for movie theaters so that they know what's coming and start seeing what they're going to put on their schedule. But that sounds like really fun. Literally, movie studios trying to sell their movies. So they'll do
Yeah.
everything to make it cool and
Wow.
like experiences and freebies. And I think it's always in Vegas. So that one should be on my list. Yeah,
That one definitely should be on your list. Let's do
it's
it.
fun.
Let's go.
Do it. Let's do it. And it's you get a Vegas trip out of it.
You know what I
Yeah.
remembered? I think it's also in Vegas. I can't remember the name of it. Or no, wait, it might be in Anaheim a lot. There's one that has like all the influencers and YouTubers and stuff like that go to. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it sounds familiar.
I can't remember the
Sounds
name of it.
familiar. Oh, you know which other one I'm surprised I haven't gone to is DragCon, which also has
Yes.
gotten so big. It used to be just one, and it was hosted by RuPaul, and now there's like every major city has one. Yeah, still haven't gone to it. And if you're a fan of the Drag Race show, almost every queen who's been on that as a contestant, they're there promoting their new stuff. Yeah, that looks fun. I need to go to one of those too.
Gosh. The last one I have on my list is actually very industry, like out of my realm focus, but I would love to go just to be a fly on the wall. I don't think I'll ever go because I think the tickets are like thousands of dollars or something ridiculous, but it's South by Southwest. I had always thought South by Southwest was just a concert, but turns out they have this whole like series of events that they do. One is a big concert, but they also have like a industry led one. And for instance, Disney was there last year. You guys may have seen some of the videos where they had the roller skating and flipping animatronic
Oh
was
yeah.
highlighted there, and they show kind of all the brand new tech focused like things they've created, and that's always fun. That's like kind of like a World's Fair, right? But a little
Yes,
more
I was gonna
focused
say
to what we're
Walt
interested in.
Disney would love South by Southwest.
Yes,
It's like
yes,
innovation, creativity, arts, tech, all the things.
totally.
Twitter launched there, and that's how they got people using
Right.
it, so that they turned it into a giant chat group. A lot of cool things happen there. That is something we should put on our list. And I think it's or I guess if it's in the Southwest, it's probably always nice too, if it's like an outdoor festival. Trying to
Right.
think,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's cool.
Awesome. Ooh, well, now we have like a million things to do. Now we just like booked our calendars up for the next 15 years.
Braille.
But I had put on here to dream big and create our own Disneyholic version of a con. But the more and more I thought about it, I just keep going back to D23 Expo. So I really like feel like they did such a good job on it. It's sometimes a mess and it is a little chaotic, but you know, it sells out also. So we have to fit all of our Disney fans in there. So the only thing I could see them doing is making it bigger. But do you have any ideas of what you would do if you
Ooh.
created your favorite, best ever Disneyholic con?
This is how I would like it to be if it was, let's say, Destination D sized of event in
Okay.
terms of the announcement and things, but completely on a cruise ship for like 4 nights or whatever.
Of
Because
course.
you can so quickly get back to your room and get food and run to each thing so much more quickly than, a convention center with a hotel and a theme park. And like we were on this last cruise, like there were times where I was like, there's no way we're gonna make this 4:30 trivia. And we leave at like 4:27 and we get there at like
Yeah,
4:29.
like why? It's like
It's like
15 steps away.
yeah. And I think the convenience of that, and then it just seems like fun to have all the fans like in a kind of smaller area and doing little activities between the panels, and then you'd go in like the Walt Disney Theater for the big announcements. I would do that. That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Okay, that would be pretty amazing. And yeah, like if you spend, because one of the stressful things about cons is that it's like so much packed into a small amount of time, and you're running around crazy that whole time, and then you have to spend the night like of, because you want to get into the panels, right? So like
Yeah.
you have to stay up all night. It's a lot. But if they had a limited amount and just put you on the actual con, like you're in it the whole
Yeah, you're
time,
in it.
they could spread it out more. And then you, like you said, everything's in walking distance. I like that, actually.
Yeah. And cruise ships, there's so many activities, just like there are conventions, but for whatever reason, cruise ships really care about your comfort. And
They
that's
do.
where conventions do not at all. And
No.
that's what breaks us down.
They don't even, you guys, if you haven't been, I'm going to just talk a little crap about D23 Expo right now. If you camp out, like literally show up at like 10 p.m. the night before for a 10 a.m. panel, so you're spending 12 hours in a freezing cold concrete room. They don't even let you bring a chair on the camping. They don't let you bring anything. And so, or they don't even let you bring a pillow like to lay on. Like it's pretty ruthless. Like they don't care.
They don't care about your comfort.
So you are right. The cruise would be like, let me turn down your room for you so you can have your bedding
Imagine
exactly
like
how you like it.
somebody serving drinks during a panel.
Right.
Like, wow, I'll do that.
Oh, okay, that is pretty amazing. I don't think I can top that one.
Top that.
All I can think of is to spruce up D23 as is, and I think I would make it longer. Maybe have a few things more focused. Like I would change the ticket structure where I would have specialty tickets. Remember they used to have the Sorcerer Pass, right? But what we found out by doing Sorcerer is that most of the people doing that were doing it to flip merchandise. They get in there first and then buy stuff and resell. They don't even care about the panels. So I would love if they created different passes, like a shopping pass, and then excuse me, and that one's like $5 million. And then there's a panel pass that costs like $1,000 that gets you in the front of line all the panels. Like I would love that. Like make
that'd be good.
Different things for different interests instead of all packaged together. But also I don't see why they couldn't have like different screening rooms. What did I just watch? It was some like, oh, Only Murders in the Building. If anybody's an Only Murders in the Building fan, they just had this episode where they went to a funeral and the person was famous who they're at the funeral for, and they had different funeral parlor rooms that you could go in. Is like the overflow rooms, and they had like a TV,
the riffraff room.
the thing. Like just have that, like the big panel room if you want to sleep on the concrete all night and get into that panel room, or you could show up at 9:50 a.m. for a 10 a.m. panel and watch it.
They really should.
You still get to experience it. Maybe the room looks really cool, full of a lot of fans. It's just not in the actual room. Like make something so we can all enjoy it. And I think they're kind of doing that this time next year for 2024 with the big stadium for the big panels. So we'll see how that works out. But maybe just have a little more access for people to not have to like run themselves so thin, and be able to pick a B mode if they like, you know?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. And then like extend it a little bit, maybe do a 3-day pass like they normally do for all the big hitters, but then have like an extra 2 days of like those smaller panels that a lot of us love that I end up missing because I'm at all the big panels, you know, like some of the really Imagineer focused ones or history or
yeah, less overlap would be nice. Even I think they're trying to distribute the crowds, but if you make it longer, like you said, it'd be nicer. It could take some time to breathe.
Right. Nice. I think it'd be more enjoyable. People can really figure out what they really want out of the con and buy their ticket around that. The con would probably make more money. The sales floor would be open 2 extra days. Like I feel like it just would be a win-win. So yeah, I don't know. That's what I would do. I would just spruce up D23 Expo because it's already pretty close to perfect. It's not Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way, but it's close and is very focused on Disney fans. Whew, well, today we went con crazy and we got into MouseCon, which was the Bay Area annual event up here, Disney focused. And then we talked about all the other cons we've been to and ones that we love to go to, and even figured out how we can make our perfect Disneyholics version.
Perfect. Just like us to make our own version that all of our listeners and viewers hopefully loved. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed episode 162 of the Disneyholics Show.
Follow us on social media at the Disneyholics.
And if you want to get in touch, send us a DM on Instagram or contact us at thedisneyholics.com. Okay,
Happy
bye.
birthday, Mike!
Oh my goodness, thank you. Woo.
Okay, bye.